Hello everyone, this is the round 2 game of the week for the Interzonals. I have the top seed Matt Petroviak playing white against a relative newcomer playing black, but I do think he will hold his own here. Here are the pairings. I'm doing the top board match right now. Uh, I I want to say this will be the best matchup and the most exciting game, but I really could have picked any of these top 4 games. I think these will all be fantastic games. Um, but since it's the top board and there was a reasonable tie between the 4 of them, I think I decided to go with this one. Um, so we'll go ahead and just wait for these guys to start. I'm expecting a d4 from Petroviak, and probably a London system to put us all to sleep. Um, and I'm only half joking about that. So um, as soon as he's done eating, I suppose we'll get started here. Um, so that I can, so that I have something to talk about. And we have an e4. All right, cool. E4 and a Nimzovich defense. So probably knight f3 with the idea he just wants e5 from black so that he can just get into a normal Italian or a Rui, but okay, so he plays the Italian. All right, cool. All right, so we have a Guico piano and a castles. Yeah, this move is very topical as of late because you want to after knight f6 you want to play d3, and you want to hold off on this c pawn being pushed because pushing c3 it weakens your d pawn, and sometimes d5 comes and then there's a lot of pressure on the d3 pawn from the queen. So this has been a very topical line lately. Um, Very impressed to see castling instead of the usual c3. That's the old line, but I do think this has quite a bit more value in it. Cool, cool. So I'm expecting knight f6 from black. There isn't really much else that can be played. He could play d6 if he really wanted to. Okay, can I flip this? I wanna see it from white's perspective. Right. All right. Oh, cool, cool. So yeah, like I said, expecting just d3, and he'll look to wait to play c3. You really, as playing white here, you want to wait until black plays d6 before you push c3, um, and then that way, if they ever want to play d5 to put pressure on your d pawn, they have to spend an extra tempo. That's the whole point of this move order. Um, Again, very, very, very trendy, as I said. That's pretty fairly recent theory. I think within the last 5 years, that's really developed as a lot of um, a lot of GMs have been playing the Italian lately. And then h6, I'm not really sure about this move. I don't think white ever really wants to go for this bishop pin. Um, Usually this bishop goes to e3. It can go there now, and it's okay. But usually the knight comes here, here, and then bishop e3 is typically the maneuver. There's no bishop g5 normally. If bishop g5, then you just play h6 and make him go back to h4, and the bishop doesn't really have much to do. Okay, so he's just great play here from white. I guess this does allow this, but I think he just goes rook back to f1, plays h3, right, kicks it back out, and then goes rook to e1, and he doesn't waste any tempo. So I do like this here from him, and he's waiting to play this c3 move so that he can get d4 in. It's very, very thoughtful play. From black, I'm probably expecting castling or d6 here. I don't think d5 is the play. So yes, so now we have d6, and now he instantly plays c3. So if I had any doubts before of him studying this line, all those doubts are gone. I think he has definitely studied this. I think in this position, though, I think I would play h3. Because if you want to play d4, you really need to block this bishop from pinning. But this is fine too. There is as long as he knows the maneuver to get rid of the bishop, then he's totally fine. So if bishop here, you just want the knight here, knight here, knight here, and then Adobe Flash Gambit, and then you play h3. Some kind of move order like that. It doesn't have to be, maybe h3 first, and then you do the knight maneuver, so that if the bishop goes back, then you have knight to g3, freeing yourself from the pin. So you can do that. Some people prefer h3 first. Again, too, all very common Ruy Lopez ideas. But I think a lot of people prefer the Italian, really just to avoid the Berlin, would be my guess. Not that I play a lot of Ruy Lopez, but I wouldn't want to see the Berlin either. So I could have made some jokes about Petroviac's London putting us all to sleep, but I mean, maybe this does too. I don't know. I find the Italian fascinating. Some very cool theoretical ideas in here. If I was black, maybe castles, right? Maybe bishop g4. Maybe test white, make sure that he, make sure he knows this freeing maneuver to free himself from the pin. Perhaps he could do either or here. There's also a lot of neat ideas as black after you get castled, with the knight coming back here, and then this whole thing. And now this is a little bit premature. You want to play knight a5 after you've played a6. Now white has just bishop b5 check, and after black blocks the check, the bishop can just come back here and here. So bishop b5, c6, bishop a4, b5, and then the bishop just tucks itself into c2. So if you want to, this knight a5 idea is a good idea to win the bishop, but you really need to be, you really need to be playing it after you play a6 to take away the b5 square. And now bishop b3. Not so sure about this. I don't think you need to give this bishop up at all. I mean, I think he just missed this idea when he was studying his extremely, up-to-date Italian theory, right? So he takes with the queen. He doesn't want he doesn't want this, because if he's going to be pushing this, then he'll have double isolated pawns here. So the open rook file is attractive, but you really don't want the pawn structure, disadvantage there. There's just no need for it. Okay, so he gets his d4 in. Anytime you play d4, you have to make sure your e4 is, all set and defended. So he's totally fine here. This looks like pretty okay play from white so far, other than giving up his light squared bishop. He didn't need to do that. This position would be considerably better if he had his light squared bishop. Okay, a capture. That's probably fine. He probably wants to stick his bishop on b4. Makes sense. And he goes to b6, okay. I mean, I think I'd rather have it on b6. b4 looks good. I mean, that's why I thought he would do it. Just because it hits the rook. But this is more active. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, he hangs his queen? That was too fast. Can he play this, or no? Knight takes and then takes here, and then this is, but then queen takes, guarding this. I don't. Oh, it's pinned. Wow. Wow. All right, I got a little afraid there for Petroviac. He caught me slipping a little bit. Right, it is pinned. So cool. This is perfect for him then. He's up a piece. Nothing really to complain about. He's ready to push here next turn. He's also ready to take this. So he's just totally rolling. I can't believe I missed that. Missing the easiest things lately. Okay, that defends both of them. Defends the pawn, defends the bishop. Renews the threat on the queen. I like it. That makes sense. So he does have the move his queen. He doesn't want to forget, right? Don't forget that bishop's not pinned anymore, right? Don't totally miss it like I did. So what's the plan here now then? Probably maybe queen d3? So the bishop doesn't go to f5? Whoa! So he's up a piece. So he'll have... Yeah, he'll have 2 pieces for the rook here. I don't think this was needed though. I think I'd much rather just be up a piece. Huh. So captures, queen takes check, and rook f7 I think needs to be played, right? And then pawn takes, and then this is hanging. Okay, well queen c4 here, right? I think is fine. But then what about d5? This is interesting. So maybe queen here then? Seems to be okay. Whoa. I guess he can do that too. And then if here, then he goes back to e4. So this looks nice, but yeah, I mean he's got to try something. Yeah, I think white's gonna have serious pressure here on the h-pawn. I wish I could flip this into an analysis board here. But okay, so if takes, now queen takes, rook f7 takes here, and you have serious pressure on this h-pawn. If the king takes, queen takes is nearly decisive. And if he doesn't take it, it looks like it's even worse. I think he has to be taking that pawn eventually. Maybe he doesn't take it. Oh, he resigned. Wow. That's it. That was a quick one. A little too quick. So what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at rook f7, pawn takes, and he can't really take this yet, right? Because the bishop takes and, well, really just bishop takes, right? Bishop takes is pretty deadly. Yeah, bishop takes is way too deadly. Here, bishop takes. You gotta guard this rook. Careful, careful. Here, and then just queen check. And king in the corner and the rook hangs. And this is... He's got some issues. Queen g8 maybe. So that's really unfortunate. So you can't take that pawn. So you have to do another move here. Maybe queen f6? Something to defend? I wonder what the engine says here. Looks like we have reasonably solid play. Yeah, black got a little antsy, and right, he missed the pin on his king. So okay, yeah, I wonder what the engine says about these positions. So this is, I think we talked enough about the opening, so we'll skip through this. Yeah, knight a5 is definitely an inaccuracy. Again, you want to play a6 before you do this, so that you can, right, so that you actually do win the bishop. And then after a6, usually bishop b3 is preferred, so that if the knight comes here, right, the bishop can just tuck itself away. But okay, knight a5 right away, and of course bishop b3 also an inaccuracy. The computer likes queen a4 check, apparently. That looks okay. I think the knight just goes back. That looks a little odd. I've always just played bishop b5 check in these situations. And then c6, and you just pull the bishop back, and you can tuck itself away just like that. Bishop b3, knight takes b3. Computer's kind of deciding, which capture to go with. I like queen takes. You don't want to take like this, and then it makes it even harder to push this pawn, right? Takes, and then you've got double ISO. So that's probably not preferred. Queen takes is fine. A5, d4. We're pushing right in the center. Okay. This all makes sense. And e5 isn't. This is ambitious. It looked fine to me, but the computer, in all of its perfect knowledge, doesn't really like it. Yeah, I mean, I think you have the capture here. There's not much else to do. Yeah, bishop there. So he just missed that there was a pin after this, and that's unfortunate. But tactics they're kind of the end-all be-all. Your positional ideas don't really matter if you're losing a knight, right? So castles is nice, and rook takes e6. So the computer doesn't really like this either, but it looks like a practically very strong sacrifice. So let's get to the nitty-gritty here, down to this, and yeah, I think rook f7 just has to be played. You can't go king here. Just f takes, and I mean, I mean, black is just crushed any capture here. So rook f7 has to be played. F takes, and then yeah, queen f6. So good to know my defensive analysis was reasonable, at least. Wow, what a game though. Very cool. I mean, just a nice theoretical line in the beginning. I really like the Italian game. It has very cool ideas. And then yeah, just an unfortunate tactic there in the middle game. Okay, so I may look to maybe commentate another game in the second round, but other than that, I'll probably just stick to doing one per round in a game of the week type, type scenario. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video commentary, and I'll see you all later. Bye.